Heartwarming love letters discovered. Lonely librarian's incredible journey to hidden affection. In the quaint, dusty attic of the Maplewood Library, Claire Harper uncovered a box that would change everything. The sunlight streamed through the small attic window, illuminating the ancient dust motes swirling around her, and there it was, a time-worn box, covered in cobwebs yet pulsing with the promise of discovery. As Claire dusted it off, she felt a thrill tingle in her fingertips. Inside lay a trove of forgotten love letters from the 1940s. Each glossy sheet hid a world brimming with romance, revealing an enchanting story of a couple caught in a whirlwind of passion against the backdrop of a time that felt foreign yet strangely familiar. With heart pounding, Claire delicately unfolded the first letter. Every word drew her in deeper. The ink, faded but eloquent, wove tales of late-night rendezvous and secret whispers. "My dearest Alice," began the first letter, and as Claire read, she could nearly hear the fluttering of the couple's hearts against the weight of societal judgment and economic despair. The couple's struggles echoed so clearly against the old town's lingering prejudices that Claire felt a connection binding them. It was as if their souls reached out from the pages to meet her own. Yet, even as her heart raced with the thrill of this discovery, shadows crept in. Claire often felt the isolation of her quiet life, standing at the edges of social events, watching and listening, yet never truly joining. Her devoted life to the library, and the community it served, often left her feeling more like a ghost than a living soul. "She's so standoffish," she overheard a patron whisper once. With every soft jab, the loneliness coiled tighter around her heart. But these letters were transporting her to a new world. This couple's love felt almost palpable, a stark contrast to her own solitude. Fueled by their bravery, Claire decided to uncover their identities, driven by a hope that sparked within her weary spirit. Maybe, just maybe, these hidden letters would lead her to connection, to insight, not just for the couple, but for herself as well. As she delved into her quest, her thoughts wandered to her estranged daughter, their relationship fraught with unspoken wounds, years of distance weighing heavy on both. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The love letters hinted at the necessity of vulnerability, of forgiveness, igniting a flicker of courage in Claire to face her daughter. "Mom, you're so busy without me," her daughter's words echoed in her mind. The piercing honesty in that accusation twisted her heart, stoking a fire of guilt that threatened to consume her. But the daring words of the couple in those letters reminded her that love required both bravery and openness. Maybe that's what had been missing. As the library faced a controversial debate about its future, the town's splintering opinions reflected old biases clashing against the desperate need for progress. Claire could feel the weight of her community's doubts pressing down on her, yet deep within grew a tenacity she never knew she had. If she lost the library, she would lose the connection between her and the community she had always cared for. Those letters had sparked something in her, a chance to reclaim her story. Would she be able to mend the bond with her daughter and save the library all at once? With trembling hands, she clutched the first love letter that had started it all, heart racing as she stood at the precipice of change. The glow of hope shimmered in her eyes. What awaited her in the chapters yet to unfold? Determined to honor the brave love she read about, Claire turned her focus to solving the mystery of Alice and her beloved. The first letter had painted the vibrant scene of young love, but there were so many unanswered questions. She picked up the letters again, gently rearranging them, hoping they might shed light on the couple's fates. Hours drifted by as she pored over each letter, letting the cadence of their story wash over her. Claire found herself envisioning Alice, sitting under an old oak tree, writing feverishly about dreams and hopes, hearts entwined with the shadows of their town. This couple had fought against not only societal norms, but also the clutches of war that threatened to tear them apart. Their hopes danced upon each other's breaths, breathing life into their love. Yet, tucked between the love and longing in the pages was also a deep sorrow. Claire's heart sank as she read a letter where Alice expressed her worries about the future, about how distance might fade them over time. "Will you still love me when the world pulls us apart?" The question swirled within Claire's mind, echoing her own fears about her relationship with her daughter. The ache felt all too familiar. It was a fear of losing someone you love but not knowing how to bridge that gap. This time, her sense of urgency was palpable. Inspired to do something, she decided to research further. After closing the library for the day, she headed to the local historical society, hoping to find any record of Alice and her partner. The faded photographs and brittle newspaper clippings felt almost sacred as she sifted through them, imagining the lives lived behind each one. As night fell, Claire was drawn to an old article. It mentioned a small ceremony in the park, celebrating Alice and her partner's love amidst community backlash. Instinctively, she knew this was the connection she needed to find. They had their battles too, she whispered to herself, her heart pounding as she realized she wasn't just rekindling someone else's history, she was reclaiming her own. With fresh resolve, Claire marched back to the library, reflecting on her own battle to connect with her daughter. She had been fighting a quiet war of her own, allowing distance and misunderstandings to fill the space between them. Those letters had opened her eyes that love, much like literature, requires transparency and vulnerability. She needed to share the letters with her daughter, but not just that, she needed to share her heart. With each step, she felt lighter, as if shedding layers of doubt and fear. Maybe if she embraced her own story, she could teach her daughter to do the same. For the first time in years, she felt the flutter of hope borderlining excitement. As dawn painted the sky with a pale glow, Claire summoned her courage. She would reach out. It was time to bridge that gap and face the woman her daughter had become. Perhaps their own letters could become a testament of love just like Alice and her partner, a shared journey laden with understanding and acceptance. But before she could pick up the phone, her thoughts raced back to the letters. What if Alice and her partner had faced obstacles of their own? What if their love had conquered, or worse, what if it had not? The unknown loomed just as large as her desire to reconnect. Suddenly, her phone buzzed on the table, jolting her from her reverie and revealing a message from her daughter. "Can we talk?" With her heart racing once more, Claire realized she stood at yet another precipice. Would their conversation lead to healing, or would it unearth more painful truths? Claire stared at her phone, her pulse thundering in her ears. The message from her daughter felt like both a lifeline and a lead weight pressed firmly against her chest. "Can we talk?" It was simple yet so profound. She took a deep breath, letting the air swirl inside her before releasing it slowly. This was it. The moment she had been waiting for, hoping for, and dreading all at once. Hope flickered into her heart like a candle in a dark room. She made a silent vow to be brave. After a moment of hesitation, Claire picked up the phone and replied yes. When and where? She didn't want to wait a moment longer. The anticipation had her imagining 1,000 outcomes, some happy, some anxious, and a few that made her stomach twist. As she sent the message, she cast another glance around her small kitchen, littered with breakfast remnants from the hurried morning. The sun streamed through the window, illuminating the space with a golden light. Everything felt fresh and full of possibility, yet her heart was clouded with uncertainty. It wasn't long before her daughter's response chimed back. "How about the cafe around the corner in an hour?" The cafe. Claire had spent countless afternoons there, staring out the window, sipping coffee while she tried to pen her thoughts or find solace within the pages of a book. It was also a place where her daughter had once shared her biggest dreams, laughter mingling with the rich aroma of fresh pastries. "I'll see you then," Claire typed, each word a step toward facing the chasm that had widened between them. With time to spare, she paced her living room, thinking about what to say. Should she open up with the letters, or simply ask about her daughter's life? Would it be better to dive into the deep end, or to test the waters first? As she stood by the window, watching the world bustle outside, her thoughts drifted back to Alice and her beloved. What had they done when faced with obstacles? They had chosen to fight for their love. Did Claire have that same strength? She thought about the letters not just as relics of history but as encouragement to be vulnerable and love. The hour passed faster than she anticipated, and soon Claire found herself standing outside the cafe, the familiar sounds and scents wrapping around her. She spotted her daughter at a table in the corner. Her heart leaped. There she was, so beautiful, yet burdened with the ghosts of misunderstandings that had come between them. "Hi, Mom," her daughter said, her voice tentative. Claire took her seat, searching her daughter's eyes for a hint of what was to come. The air was thick with unsaid words, but Claire could see a flicker of anticipation beneath her daughter's guarded expression. "Hey, sweetheart," Claire started, but the words jammed in her throat. Before she could find her footing, her daughter spoke up. "I've been thinking a lot about us, about everything. I want to share it all, but I don't know how." Claire's heart sank slightly, grappling with the weight of anticipation mixed with fear. This was the moment they had both been waiting for, a chance to either collapse the walls built between them or allow them to stand solid. "Maybe we can find a way together," Claire offered softly, her voice laced with hope. Just then, the cafe door swung open, and the world's noise flooded in. A man and woman burst through, slightly out of breath, their laughter echoing around the room. They seemed entirely in sync, their faces glowing with excitement, a stark contrast to Claire's somber moment. Some part of Claire envied them their joyous connection. Was that what Alice and her love had fought for? With her daughter's eyes on her, Claire felt the old letters digging at her heart, begging her for the truth they held. "Can I show you something?" she asked suddenly, the words spilling from her lips before she could second-guess them. Claire didn't know if it was the right move but sensed it was time to reveal her own letter to the past, and the love she hoped to cultivate with her daughter. Would it weave their journey back together? Or would it splinter their fragile connection even more? Each heartbeat was a reminder of the fragility of love and understanding. As Claire drew in a shaky breath to pull out the letters, she held her heart in her hands, ready to let it unfold in a way it never had before. What would her daughter think? Would she embrace the history? Or push it away? That uncertainty hung in the air as she opened her bag. What if this moment changed everything? Claire hesitated, feeling the weight of the letters in her hands. It was as if they were alive, whispering secrets she had locked away for years. The cafe buzzed around them, but all she could hear was her daughter's quiet breaths and the thudding of her own heart echoing in her ears. "Mom, what are those?" her daughter asked, her curiosity piqued. The question hung in the air, both a challenge and an invitation. "They're letters," Claire replied, her voice trembling slightly. "Letters from a woman named Alice. I found her story, and it reminded me of the strength of love, the power of words." "What do you mean?" Her daughter leaned forward, her previous tension easing slightly. With a deep breath, Claire carefully slid the first letter out, its edges worn and crinkled from the passage of time. "Alice wrote these to someone she loved deeply. They're filled with dreams, heartaches, and a hope that kept her going." As she spoke, Claire's fingers traced the beautifully penned words, memories flooding in, both sweet and painful. "I think it could help us." "Help us how?" her daughter probed, an ember of interest flickering in her eyes. Claire glanced down at the letter once more, feeling the heat of her daughter's gaze. "Because love isn't perfect. It can be messy and complicated, but it's worth fighting for. Alice's letters taught me about vulnerability, about opening up when it feels scary." "I don't know if I can be vulnerable," her daughter admitted almost shyly, her voice barely above a whisper, a raw honesty that surprised Claire. "That's okay. We all have our walls, babe. But maybe we can break them down together." Claire took a breath, feeling as though she were reaching through the fog that lay between them. "These letters may seem old, but they hold lessons that are timeless. Love requires courage." "I'd like to read them," her daughter said softly, a hint of eagerness threading its way through her uncertainty. With a careful movement, Claire handed her the first letter. As her daughter unfolded it, Claire watched her eyes scan the words, absorbing the emotions that flowed off the pages. "Wow," she was really her daughter began, but the words left her. Instead, she simply stared, a blend of awe and empathy crossing her features. "She was brave," Claire whispered, sensing her daughter's shift in perspective. She faced her fears and shared her truth, even when it was hard. The cafe felt brighter somehow, as though Alice's words were casting light on the dark crevices of their relationship. Claire could see the tension easing in her daughter's shoulders, the barriers that had felt so solid beginning to crack. "I want to understand us," her daughter finally said, locking eyes with Claire. "I don't want to feel distant anymore." A glimmer of hope ignited within Claire. It was a small step, but it was a step nonetheless. "Then let us keep reading. We can figure this out together." As they delved into the letters, Claire felt the anxious knot in her stomach begin to unravel. Each word brought them closer, each shared insight a bridge over the chasm created by silence and misunderstanding. But just as the world around them fell into sweet stillness, a sudden commotion broke through. Another couple, laughing and carefree, burst into the cafe, their happiness stark against Claire's vulnerable moment. For a fleeting second, a wave of jealousy crashed over her. What if this was all for nothing? What if the letters didn't change anything? Before she could voice her concerns, her daughter caught her gaze, a spark of determination lighting up her eyes. "Mom, let us write our own letters. Maybe we can create our story too." Claire's breath hitched. Could they truly step into that space together? But just as the light of possibility dawned, Claire hesitated. What if the echoes of the past became a shadow over their future? Would they be strong enough to confront their own truths? As Claire set down Alice's letter, 1,000 questions flooded her mind. Would they find their way back to each other, or would the weight of the past become too heavy? This chapter was only beginning. And with the next letter, everything could change again. Claire's breath caught as she met her daughter's gaze. There was something raw and beautiful in the moment, a shared vulnerability that wrapped around them like a warm blanket. For the first time in a long while, hope replaced doubt, flickering brightly as her daughter's words echoed in her heart. "Let us write our own letters," her daughter said, determination sparking in her eyes. "That sounds like a wonderful idea," Claire replied, feeling a rush of emotion. Could they really do this? Could they transform the tenuous bonds of their relationship into something stronger through the written word? "Where do we start?" her daughter asked, turning the pages in front of her. It felt like the weight of the world rested on their shoulders. Claire looked at Alice's letters, the stories within them not just of love but of loss, redemption, and the path toward healing. She reached for the second letter, the one with a slightly crooked fold. "Here. Let us read this one together. It might give us some inspiration." As she began to read aloud, Claire's voice felt unsteady, yet she pressed on. Alice's words spoke of longing and moments of vulnerability, raw feelings spilling onto the page like ink bleeding through the fibers. Claire noticed her daughter's eyes widen, a mixture of realization and empathy painting her features as they both connected to Alice's longing. "Mom, she loved him so much, but it wasn't easy," her daughter remarked softly, a hint of understanding in her voice as she absorbed every syllable. "Sometimes love isn't," Claire replied, her heart tightening. "It can break us but also rebuild us." Her daughter nodded, the unease in her expression fading. "I guess that's like us. We've had our challenges, but maybe we can find our way back, piece by piece." An unexpected wave of warmth washed over Claire. They were standing at a crossroad, two hearts ready to draw closer through their own words. "Exactly. Let us not shy away from that. We can write our truths, our hopes for each other. It will be our joint story." The confident spark in her daughter's gaze ignited something deep within Claire. In the chaos of their lives, she'd forgotten how to reach out or express feelings without fear. But right now, next to her daughter, she felt lighter, as if they were both shedding the burdens of silence. "Do you want to start now?" Claire asked, brimming with eagerness. Her daughter grinned, something bright and hopeful. "Yes. Let's do it." They found a quiet corner in the cafe. Claire pulled out her phone, ready to set an alarm to remind them about the letters. They needed to make this space sacred, a reminder of what they wanted to build as a mother and daughter. "How about we commit to writing letters to each other every week? Like a promise?" Her daughter perked up. Exactly. A promise to open up, to be honest. We'll share our dreams, our worries. Claire's voice trailed off. The thought of revealing herself fully felt both thrilling and terrifying. Let us maybe mix in some funny stuff too, about life and school, her daughter added, her smile contagious. Claire laughed, the sound lightening the air. Of course. It has to have some laughs. All right then, I'm starting mine tonight, her daughter declared, determination shining through her bright eyes. As they began to brainstorm ideas for their letters, their conversation flowed effortlessly, laughter punctuating their thoughts. With every shared dream, the air felt charged with possibility. However, as they began crafting a plan, Claire's thoughts drifted back to Alice and the bittersweet echoes of her letters. Would they have the same courage to face their own insecurities? Would revealing their truths on paper bring them closer, or would some fears remain unspoken? Just as the cafe sang with their laughter, the phone buzzed with a text from Claire's sister, pulling her temporarily back into the worries of the outside world. Her heart sank, the familiar weight of family tension creeping back. Mom? Her daughter's voice broke through the moment. Are you okay? Claire hesitated, the struggles of the past shadowing her. But she made a choice. Let us not focus on the fears right now. Let us keep creating our story. With that, they turned back to the blank pages in front of them, ready to etch their hopes onto paper. But as Claire began to write, fear lingered at the edge of her mind. What if their letters didn't hold the healing they sought? Would they have the courage to confront the deeper truths still hidden away? The unanswered questions loomed, and with every stroke of the pen, Claire felt the weight of what lay ahead. Would the letters inspire transformation, or would they simply expose more cracks in their foundation? The cafe slowly turned quieter as the evening light faded, casting a warm golden hue that danced over Claire and her daughter. Time seemed to slip away while they sat, pens poised, each breath laced with anticipation. They leaned into this space they were crafting together, the air filled with possibilities. Claire's pen hovered over the page, her heart racing as vulnerability flooded in. How do I start? She thought, wrestling with the urge to pen something profound, something that encapsulated the love she felt but often struggled to show. She could feel her daughter's gaze, eager yet expectant, pulling her back into the moment. Go ahead, Mom. Just write what comes to your heart, her daughter encouraged, leaning closer, a mixture of excitement and anxiety threading through her voice. Taking a deep breath, Claire finally let the pen move. Dear Alana, she wrote, the name flowing easily as if it were a long-lost friend. Her hand trembled slightly, but she pressed on, writing about the warmth she felt seeing Alana embrace the world. I know things haven't always been perfect between us, but I want you to know how proud I am of you. You have a light that brightens the darkest days. As the words came tumbling out, Claire began to let go of the weight she'd carried for so long, those fears of inadequacy, of not being a good enough mother. Each line took shape, slowly weaving not just her feelings but also wishes, hopes for the future. I want us to build bridges where we've erected walls, she continued, feeling her heart open further. Let us make memories that last, not just fill the gaps of silence. Alana watched, her eyes gleaming with admiration. She began to write in tandem, her own paper filled with expressive strokes. Dear Mom, she wrote, I hope to be someone you can lean on. I know I've been distant. It's just, sometimes I felt I needed space to figure things out, but I'm ready now. Claire leaned back for a moment, a smile creeping across her face. Seeing Alana write with such honesty made her heart swell. It was a beautiful dance between mother and daughter, words shining like stars in their sky. As they settled deeper into their letters, a shift began to take place. Alana's voice broke the comfortable silence. Mom, can we also write about our dreams? Like, what if you wrote about that book you always wanted to write? What do you mean? Claire asked, intrigued. You know, that story about Alice and the letters? You've told me about it 1,000,000 times. Alana's enthusiasm was infectious. It was the first time Claire realized how closely her daughter listened. You should write it, Mom. It's part of you. In that second, Claire felt the walls around her creativity begin to crumble. Maybe I will. she replied, her spirit lifting at the thought. You know what, let us make this a two-way street. I'll write my truth, and you write yours. We'll explore different sides of ourselves. The idea ignited something exciting within Claire. Strangely, it was as if they were unearthing a treasure too long hidden. Lost stories would surface, transforming not only their letters but also their bond. Suddenly, Claire's phone buzzed again, snapping them both back to reality. But this time, instead of dread, she felt the impulse to embrace whatever the message bore. She glanced at the screen and saw it was from Claire's sister again, a string of questions, demanding answers about family matters. Just a moment, sweetheart, she said, tapping her phone. Yet before she could lose focus, Alana's hand clutched her arm gently. Don't let it distract you, Alana urged, her tone steady, unyielding. A surge of gratitude bloomed in Claire's chest. You're right. This is our time, she said, shutting her phone and placing it aside. Let us keep pouring out everything we want to say. They resumed writing, the conversation sliding seamlessly back into laughter and shared dreams. And as they scribbled on the pages, Claire felt the fire of inspiration burning brighter. Words flowed freely, binding them together like the ink that joined each letter. But as Claire's pen scratched across the page, a familiar tension twisted in her chest again. The unfinished letters from Alice not only pondered her heart, but were echoes of uncharted territory. What secrets remained hidden among those words? And what if the act of unraveling those truths would ultimately challenge them more than any other thing could? With every letter, Claire felt like they were laying the foundation of something powerful. But she couldn't shake the feeling that their journey was just beginning. Would they truly find closure through their writing, or would impossible truths emerge, testing their newfound connection? As they both paused, pens resting on pages filled with emotion, Claire couldn't help but wonder. What lies beneath the surface of their relationship? A gentle breeze wafted through the cafe's open window, carrying hints of the mission they had embarked on. Claire took a moment, staring at the blank pages before her. The warmth of the golden light seemed to cradle them, encouraging her to dig deeper. She was not just writing to Alana, she was excavating a part of herself buried long ago. Do you remember the stories I told about Alice? Claire asked, breaking the silence like the soft clinking of a cup being set down. Alana looked up, her expression a mix of nostalgia and curiosity. Of course. The girl who wrote letters to her future self, right? What about them? Claire felt a spark ignite. What if I write a letter as if I'm Alice? Maybe it will help me find the courage to share my own feelings, things I've kept in the shadows. Do it, Mom! Alana cheered, her eyes lighting up. It's like you're passing down the torch of storytelling. I want to read it. And so, like a call to adventure, Claire began. Dear future me, she wrote, the words flowing with newfound confidence. She poured out her thoughts from the angle of Alice, recounting her youthful dreams and the struggles that clouded her heart. I often wonder if you have found your voice. If you've learned to embrace your passions, to let the world see who you truly are. With each line, Claire wasn't just narrating a tale, it was becoming her own introspection, a bridge to the past and a doorway to the future. As the setting sun splashed colors across the cafe, Alana began to write too, inspired by her mother's courage. Dear Mom, she started, sometimes I wish you could see the amazing person you are. You chase after big dreams, but you forget to hug the moments of today. It's okay to dream big, but don't forget to show all of you to me. I want to know everything. The words hung between them like a tender thread, weaving their hearts closer. Claire peered over at Alana's paper, feeling pride swell up inside her. You're so eloquent, Alana, she said, grinning widely. You have your own strength to share, too. What if I write a letter to Alice as well? Alana suggested, her brow furrowing with thought. Like, what if her stories were real? What do you think she would want to hear from us? Excitement bubbled within Claire. Yes. Share the honest parts of your journey, the dreams you have right now. This could be something big. It felt like a ritual, each word drawing them closer, their pens scratching away at the past while building a blueprint for the future. With each letter, they uncovered unspoken fears and hidden hopes, breathing life into the silent corners of their hearts. But as Claire sipped her coffee, poised over the page, a shadow flickered through her mind. Would Alice's dreams echo their own? Would they find a way to voice thoughts that had gone unheard for so long? The threads of doubt began to weave themselves back in. What if, in opening this chapter, they stirred deeper family secrets and unresolved feelings? Mom? You okay? Alana's voice pierced through her thoughts, eyes filled with concern. Claire looked at her daughter, and the warmth of connection rushed back, washing away her doubts. I will be. Let's finish this together, she said, determination rising. As she dove back into her writing, a wave of anticipation rushed through her veins. They were on the brink of something extraordinary, yet the weight of those hidden letters loomed just out of sight, waiting for their own voices to be heard. And amidst the scribbles and the spilt ink, a new question surfaced. What secrets had Alice hidden within her letters, and would Claire and Alana be ready for what they might uncover together? Claire's pen danced across the page, her heart racing with each stroke. She was no longer just Alice, she was Claire, a mother seeking to break free from the chains of her past. The cafe buzzed around them, but in their bubble, time felt still. She could hear the soft scratching of Alana's pen beside her, creating a song of silent understanding. Dear Alice, Claire wrote, I have so many questions for you. Did you ever find the courage to express your emotions? Did you learn that vulnerability doesn't make you weak? I wish I could tell you that it's okay to feel scared. The words poured out as she recalled moments from her own life, times when she had kept her feelings locked away. I fought so hard to keep my family safe, but in doing so, I neglected my own dreams. If only I had told your story sooner, we might have built something beautiful together. Beside her, Alana was lost in thought, ink sliding smoothly onto the page. Her brows furrowed in concentration, a delicate frown that tugged at Claire's heart. Mom, what if Alice found out that we all have secrets? Dreams unspoken? Alana's voice was small but firm. I think Alice would understand, sweetheart. We all have a little Alice in us, afraid to speak but longing to be heard. Claire paused, taking a deep breath. What do you think Alice would say about your dreams? Alana hesitated. Maybe she'd say to not be afraid of failure? That trying is more important than what I end up achieving? Claire nodded, her admiration for her daughter blooming anew. Exactly. Maybe that's what makes her stories real. They've given you a voice, a chance to explore what you're feeling right now. As the sun dipped lower on the horizon, casting long shadows across the tables, Claire could sense the weight of their connection deepening. They were each reaching into the darkness, claiming their truths, one word at a time. The cafe began to quiet as the identities around them crystallized, the baristas cleaning up, laughter fading into memories. What if we write Alice a letter together? Alana proposed, her eyes bright with excitement. Maybe we could share all our dreams, all the things we've been holding back. Claire felt her heart swell. Let us do it. Let us create a message she would never forget. She deserves to hear how we view the world, how we long to embrace it. With a shared glance, they turned their papers so that their thoughts would become entwined. Claire took the lead, her pen gliding across the page as Alana watched. Dear Alice, we have dreams we'd like to share with you, Alana piped in, her voice steady. Sometimes we feel lost, but we believe in the future. We believe in the beauty of our stories and our connections. Even when life gets hard, we promise to keep going. Their words flowed freely, and Claire felt them dancing together, the lines of their individual fears blending seamlessly. Joy bubbled inside her as she realized they were crafting a letter not just to Alice, but to each other. It was a promise, a pact to be vulnerable together, unearthing layers of themselves they hadn't acknowledged before. But just as she turned the final corner of their letter, an unexpected thought overtook her again. What if we find a way to send this letter to the past? She whispered. What if we let Alice know we're on the same journey? Would that change everything? Alana looked up, eyes wide and sparkling. You mean, actually send it? What if it finds its way to someone who needs to hear our words? What if it connects us with long-lost stories? The idea crackled in the air between them, electric and exhilarating. Claire felt a rush of hope swell within her chest. As the cafe began to dim with the light of the setting sun, Claire and Alana leaned closer together, ready to embrace the weight of their words and perhaps unravel something even larger than themselves. Would they dare to embark on a journey that sent their message into the universe? What awaited them on the other side? The clock on the cafe wall ticked softly as the last remnants of daylight danced through the windows. Claire and Alana exchanged excited glances, fueled by the breath of possibility that now swirled around them. Claire's pulse quickened. The idea of sending their words to the past felt like holding on to a spark that could ignite something monumental. What if we write more letters? Alana suggested suddenly, her enthusiasm infectious. What if we write to other people, too? Like everyone who shaped Alice's life? Claire's heart raced. You mean like her friends? Family? The people she loved? Yes. We could write about hope and dreams for future generations. We could even include our own stories. Alana's eyes sparkled like stars as she spoke, an eagerness blooming in her chest. Claire imagined each letter fluttering through time, landing in hands that needed them the most. We could create a time capsule. It could be a beautiful legacy for Alice, for us, for anyone struggling to express their truth. The idea gripped Claire, squeezing her heart with an exhilarating mixture of fear and joy. We'd have to put in things that mean something to us. Keep it real, you know? Absolutely. Alana beamed, her words tumbling over one another. We can include drawings, favorite quotes, anything that inspires us. Let us show Alice how much courage it takes to be vulnerable. As they began to plan, Claire felt herself unwinding. Each moment with Alana felt like shedding old skin. She was revealing herself in ways she never thought possible. But how do we actually send it to the past? Alana mused, eyes narrowing in thought. Maybe we need to find something special? Like a portal or a talisman. Claire frowned slightly, the mood shifting into seriousness. That sounds complicated. What if it's just a matter of believing in our words? What if we just set an intention? What do you mean? Alana asked, tilting her head. I mean, what if the letters themselves carry power? When we share them, when we let our voices be heard, that energy travels. It doesn't matter the distance. Claire's heart swelled with conviction. What if our words actually touch someone? Someone who needs it? Alana whispered, a flicker of wonder lighting up her face. Exactly. Like a beacon, Claire said softly, her voice fading with emotion. And maybe Alice, with all her fears, would find comfort knowing we're not so different after all. As they began jotting down their thoughts together, side by side the cafe began to fill with that magical twilight glow. The chatter of late-night patrons faded into a gentle hum, a lullaby of inspiration cocooning them. They could feel the world outside settling down, but for Claire and Alana, the real adventure had only just begun. Mom, you think Alice would be proud of us? Alana asked, her voice barely above a whisper, a note of uncertainty threading through her excitement. I think she would be amazed, Claire assured her, warmth flooding through her. More than that, I think she would see herself in us. She would see her journey reflected back and realize she's not alone. Just then, a gust of wind rattled the door, and a few scattered leaves danced into the cafe. Claire's heart took a sharp turn as a strange sensation washed over her, an inexplicable chill, though the air was warm. What was that? Alana asked, eyes wide and searching. Claire exchanged a glance with her daughter, her heart quickening. I don't know, but I have a feeling we're on the brink of something huge. And as they continued to write, words unfurling from their hearts, they couldn't shake the feeling that something truly magical was about to happen. What if their letters opened a door to a different time, one filled with untold stories and hidden affection? Would they be ready to embrace whatever came next? The cafe hummed with quiet conversations, but for Claire and Alana, time felt suspended. Each letter they penned drew them deeper, not just into the past of Alice but into their own shared journey, a pulsing connection to a future they both longed to explore. Dear Alice, Claire began again, her pen gliding smooth against the paper, we're writing to you not just to share our dreams but to learn from your courage. You faced a world that tried to silence your love, yet your words echo on, bringing us together. We hope to resonate with your story. Alana leaned in, her youthful spirit vibrant, and we invite you into our struggles, too. Sometimes we feel afraid to share our truths. We want to be brave. We want to find a way to carry love without fear. The letters transformed into pages filled with hope and vulnerability, sparkling points of light against the backdrops of their insecurities. Claire felt her heart swell with pride as Alana continued to pour her heart out, words swirling around them like a cherished embrace. Each sentence liberated feelings that had long hidden in the shadows. Together, they faced the ghosts of misunderstandings, like stepping through a veil into a sunlit garden. Dear future, they wrote together, we promise to keep believing in each other, and to embrace honesty, even when it's scary. Hope blossomed between them. The acknowledgement brought fresh revelations, a surge of energy igniting the room. The letters had transformed into a pact. Each word born from honesty was a stepping stone toward a future they could forge together. Suddenly, Claire felt a warm rush of inspiration. What if we read these letters aloud during the town's community meeting next week? She suggested, a spark igniting in her chest. What if our words about love and understanding shifted hearts, much like Alice's letters did for us? Alana's eyes widened in astonishment. Mom, that'd be powerful. We could show the town how love connects us all. But as excitement surged, doubts crept in too. What if they don't understand? Claire's voice was barely above a whisper, hunched under the weight of her anxieties. What if we're met with skepticism? What if they don't embrace what we're trying to share? I think they will, Alana said unwavering. Because everybody's searching for connection. Maybe Alice's story can help plant seeds of love where they are needed most. In that moment, Claire's heart propelled forward. The courage of Alice reflected in her own emerging bravery. Alongside Alana, she sensed a tapestry of hope, stitched together by words that soared, way beyond the confines of the cafe. It was an invitation, not to just be seen, but to be heard. The ground shifted, and time moved forward once more. The cafe began to empty, but Claire and Alana remained, lost in creating this incredible legacy intertwined with dreams past and present. They penned down the details for the meeting, mapping out the narrative that would speak to the hearts of their community, united through the shared experience of love, dreams, and overcoming. As they crafted their concluding thoughts about love's resilience, Claire caught Alana's eye. A long-awaited connection blossomed within her. For once, it felt less about the words on the page and more about the intention, a shared journey toward love, understanding, and empathy. Imagine if our letters could inspire even one person, Claire exhaled, her heart full, resonating with a sense of belonging. Just think of the impact. Then we keep writing. Alana smiled brightly, assurance and courage settling in their bond tightly knitted together. Together, we break the silence. And with renewed vitality, mother and daughter faced the setting sun outside, the world painted in shades of pink and warm gold, a perfect reflection of newfound hope. They shared a laugh, a moment of unguarded joy mingling with tears that felt cleansing. Let us not stop here, Claire said, her heart illuminated with a fierce determination to extend their circle of love. This is just the beginning. In that instant, Claire realized that she was not just sharing Alice's journey. She was creating her own narrative with Alana, a legacy of vulnerability and strength that would pulse through generations. As they turned the page, quiet whispers of possibility lingered in the air. Hope was sparked like strangest kindling, blazed bright in the connection they forged, one that dared to reach through barriers and illuminate the unseen. They were two hearts, now paddling together toward unknown depths, embracing the radiant journey ahead, and as they prepared to leave the cafe, Claire paused, knowing that love was more than just a word. It was a declaration, an invitation, a promise. Wrapped in the weight of their letters, their hearts remained buoyed by possibility, unwrapping them from the chains of the past and embracing the fervent adventure of the present. Their story was no longer bound by silence. It surged with courage, overflowing with hope, an open letter to the world. If you believe in love, connection, and transformative journeys, you need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second to share. This is the moment to show your support. Hit that like button to feed the algorithm and comment your thoughts on this beautiful ending. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this incredible transformation. Let us spread the love together.